Hey parents, it's Miss Durden. I wanted to send you guys a video to explain what's going to be happening with our science fair. The kids had their kickoff today with Dr. Science. He is really good about getting them excited about conducting an experiment and writing a hypothesis, coming up with a conclusion, and all of that stuff. So we use that as our, starting point for the kids to get really pumped up about conducting their own experiments. So I wanted to make this video to hopefully answer some of those questions that we see each year, and to make it not so stressful. So please know that the science fair is not super big and scary. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. The kids learn a ton, and it's a great way for you guys to spend a lot of time together. So your kid is going to come home with this packet. Ta-da! On the inside, on the very first page, is our project schedule. So on the schedule, it tells you all of the things that they're going to be turning in, when they're due, or in our case today is the start date for their kickoff, so for them to get started today. When you guys complete it, and then of course the comments. The comments is going to be where I can say on the right track, or maybe we need to fix a couple of things, but this will be a great tool for us to communicate back and forth with. So this will stay in your, well, the whole packet will stay in your student's binder, and we'll be able to go back and forth and make sure. Of course you can always email me, but this way we have record of, yeah, they turned it in this day, I checked it, everything looks good, or I checked it, but we need to change something. So this will be the very first page in their packet, and this will be the first thing that you want to take a look at and discuss with them. Maybe write the dates down on like a family calendar or wherever you keep your due dates. That would be great. All right, the first big thing that you guys are going to do is to get a logbook. For the logbook, we use a composition notebook. The composition notebook needs to have the cloth glued binding. We do this because we don't want any pages torn out. And I'll get to that later, why it's okay that we don't tear any pages out, and how the kids can, if they make mistakes, I promise it's okay in this notebook. But it needs to be a composition notebook. It needs to have a glued side. It can be any color, and they can of course put their name, and once they come up with a title for their project, they can put that right here on the front. Also, the first thing that they want to do with this is they need to go through and they need to, oh, this one has writing in it. They need to number the pages. Okay, so every page needs to have a number at the bottom. It could be in the middle, it could be on the side, but that's the first big thing on their checklist, is get a composition notebook and number the pages. So that could be the first thing, and you guys can check it off that checklist. All of the guidelines for the logbook are in the packet as well. It tells you everything that you need to put in here. But I can go ahead and, it's safe to say, everything that has to do with the science fair or with their project needs to be in the logbook. Anything that they research, anything that they observe, anything that they find, anything that they take a picture of or draw that has to do with this research, we want it in the logbook. And of course it needs to be dated, and everything in the logbook has to be written in pen. So if, for example, if they want to draw something, they can draw that in pencil, but they need to go over it with pen to make sure that nothing can be erased. If a student makes a mistake or they realize they wrote the wrong word, that's okay. If they could just do a line through the word and then just rewrite the word next to it, it'll be completely fine. If they need to completely start over on a new page, just mark out the page and go on to another one. It's totally fine. All right, next they have a report. And this won't be done, this will be like the last thing that they do along with their display board. So they're going to write a report once they've done their experiment, they've created, they have their hypothesis, they have their conclusion, their results, everything. This gives a nice detail about what should be included in the report. The report should be typed, and that will come in on the last day when everything is due. Now is the display board. And this is the part that they really need to get creative with. You want your board to be something that someone sees from far away, and they come in, they're like, oh, I got to see what this project is about. So on the display board, of course, there should be a title, background information, their big question, the purpose of their project, their hypothesis, materials, procedures, results, conclusions, and definitely pictures, photographs, charts, graphs. All of that stuff should be included on the board. Now, we can't fit all of this onto a poster board. It would be too cluttered, so we do ask that students use a trifold board. It can only be one board though. They can't like tape two boards together. It has to be one trifold board. So pay attention to that when you guys are looking for those materials at the store. They can be any color, anything you guys want to do. That's totally, you know, up to them and their creativity. So definitely pay attention to the requirements for the display board. And then next in the book, or in the packet I should say, book, is a checklist. And you guys can use this as you go through the project. So, like I said, the first thing you can check off on the checklist is I have my composition notebook, and I have numbered the pages. Check. So, you can put this, keep this in their binder, but you can put all of these things to good use as far as keeping track of where you are so you don't get overwhelmed. And it does have a little bit on the back, too. The very last page is just what the judges, which it's myself and the other 4th grade teachers and then 5th grade teachers, and then we open it up to the school once we go to the school level. So within the classroom it's me, then we do kind of like a grade level, everybody looks around, and then we can move on to the school one where other teachers come and judge. So you can see kind of what we're looking for as far as the logbook, the report, and the display board. In the logbook, it should show dates for 1 month of entries. So this project will take over 1 month. It should be written in ink. The report, your project report, should include the question, hypothesis, step-by-step procedure, results. It says it does not have to be typed, but the kids know how to type, and it's great practice for them. So I would encourage you to type it. If you cannot print it, please email it to me, and I will gladly print it for you guys here. But don't do it the day it's due. If you need to type it, give me a couple of days so that I can print and make sure that each project gets to the right student. Display board should include all of the things that I listed before, the title, the results, procedure, question, everything like that. So you can see this little checklist that the teachers are going to use as we judge all of the projects. Now, while I will be checking through the packet on the topic selection, research, all of that, please know that the big grade comes at the end. So while I'm checking things, and I'm definitely looking to make sure that things are turned in on time and that you're on the right track, the big grade comes at the very end. Make sure I didn't have anything else. Oh, when you're picking your topic. So you can go to a website called sciencebuddies.com. I encourage you to start there. It's a great starting place. It gives you a lot of ideas. But there are some requirements that are not included in the Science Buddies projects that we here at Rock Spring have become accustomed to requiring. So the first is that you've got to test 3 things. Science Buddies may have one where you can see, for example, which water freezes the fastest, water that's already cold or boiling water. Well, that's not going to work when we want 3 things tested. So you could do boiling water, already cold water, and room temperature water, and that would be fine. But also note, this is something we want to see changes over time. I mentioned before that you need 1 month of entries. You need 1 month of observations. So it doesn't have to, it's not going to be something that's quick. It's not going to be, you know, an assignment you guys can do in one night. Science fair is purposely designed to go a long period of time so that the kids really get into the scientific process. I just remembered something and I forgot. It'll come back to me. Okay, so we want their topic to be something that they can see over time, something that they have to test 3 different ways, whatever that may be. And I do have to approve the topic. So once you guys come up with it, you're welcome to print it off, write it up, anything like that. Put it in this paper right here, and we can talk about what it is. If it's great, if you're good to go, if we need to tweak something, add something, change something, any of that, we can do that through the communication on this project schedule. I do believe that is it. If I remember anything else, I'll gladly send you guys an email. Please don't think that this is meant to be this long, scary project. It's a lot of fun. The kids really enjoy it. And when they see that final result, it really is completely just amazing. They absolutely are so proud of themselves and love it. And that's one of the best parts about science fairs. They can see, wow, I started with absolutely no clue where I was going, and then they end up with this amazing project and report and logbook that they're so proud of that we've actually asked kids each year, hey, can we keep your project as an example? And they all can't part with it because they just love it so much. They've put in so much work. So please don't let this become something stressful. If you need any help, please let me know. And I guess that is it. So you guys have a great night. Feel free to watch this video as many times. I'm sorry if I say too many times. I'm a little nervous. I'm observing the chin situation. Y'all have a great night.